What's going on, guys? Today, I want to share some breaking news on a proposal to make mortgages portable. Now, I'm sure you guys heard of assumable loans where a buyer steps into the seller's mortgage and basically pays them the difference. But we've been getting a lot of questions around, is it possible to take your current mortgage and move it to the property that you're buying? And that's exactly what is going on here in this proposal, which I think comes at a time where they're trying to essentially move people that are locked into these super low interest rates to sell their home and buy another property. Well, how was that exactly going to work? Because let's say you start with a $500,000 mortgage, now it's down to 300,000. Well, essentially, or in theory, you would be selling it for more than you bought, and then essentially you take that equity, use it for a down payment on a new property, and then you would take that mortgage and move it to the other property. Very interesting concept. I think that would be something that would resonate with a lot of people to utilize that. And if you guys don't know, my name is David Piatek. I am a loan officer able to help you utilize that VA home loan. In the description below, you can schedule a call with me, and always happy to go through some options because there's a lot of different aspects to using your VA home loan. And hopefully, this is something that, if it is approved, will also be applied to VA home loans. Because again, that's going to be pretty significant. And right now, a lot of people are locked in to these low interest rate mortgages. And that's what we're always saying as well. Like, it's the opportunity of purchasing a property. If you're trying to time the market, it's very hard to do that, right? Because if a lot of people, they kind of forewent that properties in 2000, 2001, because the market's interest rates were really low, market was extremely competitive, people were overbidding, but those people locked in those low interest rates. And what I think would happen as well, if mortgages become portable, that if you assumed a VA home loan, let's say, or an FHA loan at a super low interest rate, then you would be able to take that mortgage and then move it on to the next property, which is also pretty crazy idea. But remember, when you assume someone else's mortgage, you're literally taking over everything, and now that mortgage is in your name. And then you're able to then take that mortgage, in theory, based on what they're talking about, and move that to the second property. Let me know down in the description below what you guys think of that. I think this is a pretty good idea. I know that recently we talked about the 50-year mortgage. Not a good idea. You're just paying a crazy amount of interest over the life of a loan. If you guys check out that video on VA housing education, you'll see what I'm talking about. What the numbers, you're just paying an insane amount of interest and total payments over that life of that loan. 40-year mortgages, we normally see those on loan modifications, and then pretty much everyone else gets 30-year mortgages. But this, I would say, this also in a sense helps people that want to downsize. I think that is probably where we're going to see the biggest movement, is if somebody has been paying down their mortgage, their house is worth a lot of money, they have a low interest rate, and now they sell that home, and they're, let's say, going from a $700,000 home to a $200,000 home, and their mortgage balance now is like 170, 180. They could take that and only take a portion of that cash that they have from the sale of the property and apply it towards the new one. So I think it's a win-win overall for folks that bought properties a couple years ago during, or when rates are really low, and also people that have had properties for a long time and have some equity in it. There could be some really good moves that you would be able to make to then incentivize people from an overall market perspective to then sell those homes that they currently have. And then I'm not sure what would happen to with assumable loans, because they wouldn't be as favorable anymore. And again, primarily you have that on government products for assumable loans. That's going to be your VA home loans, your FHA loans, and your USDA. We really don't see much USDA questions. We see a lot of FHA and VA assumable questions. And I have a whole video on that talking about what that process looks like. And if you definitely have the cash difference, I think it's money to be able to do that. So make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe video, share it with the veteran community, because this is something that a lot of people have been asking about. And I'm going to also drop that down in the description below. And I'll talk to you guys in the next video.